Damn, that's going in the dream journal. So everyone sleeps. End of line. We all do. Sleeping is a part of life. More than a part, actually. We as humans spend more than a third of our life asleep. That's nuts. That would mean if you lived to 95, you would spend a full 31 years asleep. That's older than most people watching this video. And even with that information in mind, that would mean that you would spend at least 7 to 10 years dreaming. Nearly a full-blown decade dreaming. That's mind-blowing, even for the wildest dreams. So today, I'm going to be talking about sleep and just getting in deep with just how interesting sleep actually is. Now, sleep is kind of undefinable. I mean, go ahead, define sleep. And I hear nearly all of you saying that sleep is easy to define. It's the process of when your mind shuts down for the day, to reboot and repair for the next. Now, there's nothing wrong with that statement, but it's way too oversimplified. And you know me, I like being overly precise. So the number one thing I have to say is, no, your brain does not shut down at night when it's time to sleep. Only some parts do, and in truth, they just run at low power mode. Even with the low power mode stuff, your sleep isn't just one part of your brain decluttering all night. It comes in many different stages and intervals managed by different parts of the brain. In total, there are about 4 stages of sleep: light, REM, drifting, and deep. Now each stage has certain characteristics and features active at play. I've done them in mostly the order of how deep into sleep they are. Light sleep takes up most of your sleep, whereas REM follows up in around second and drifting and deep in last. Light is a stage where you're just plain old asleep, and it only has a small amount of brain activity occurring. As soon as you fall asleep, you enter light. It's basically just like standby or low power mode. You can easily wake up from it just like standby with the click of a mouse. The others, however, are much more intriguing. We'll save REM for last because it's pretty much the most interesting, and I have a lot to say about it. But let's move on to deep. Deep sleep is pretty much the most low power mode your sleep will ever get. It's practically coma level unconscious, but way more safe and, well, easy to control. This is pretty much recovery mode, where your mind runs incredibly silent while the body just recovers its wounds. So if you've ever slept-walked or slept-talked, it's probably been in this stage. And drifting is more of a transition from light to deep, but I'm just going to classify it as a stage. Drifting is basically that feeling you get when you feel like you're descending downward into your sleep. So let's stop rambling on about all of that and get to the nitty-gritty of this episode. REM sleep. REM sleep is pretty much the most complex and overly interesting stage of the bunch because so many things happen during REM, the main thing of which is dreams. This is the dreaming stage. And the most well-known characteristic of REM sleep is the rapid movement of the eyes. During rapid eye movement, your eyes dart from side to side frantically, like some kind of Pong game. However, your brain is on a storage mode, and it only ever needs to remember anything that's in the real world. So basically, if you don't wake up from a dream, you won't remember it. And that's why all the dreams you remember are probably dreams where you've woken up towards the end. Which reminds me of just how many gosh darn times I wake up in the night, because I remember all of my dreams. Every single one. And I have above interesting dreams. My dreams are more than wild, with vivid life oozing out of them. They don't make any sense or have any order control whatsoever, but they are extremely fascinating. I'm a lucid dreamer, meaning pretty much every dream I have, I know it's a dream. Wow, that's really cool. I wish I could do that. Whoa, stop there, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows like the internet seems to make it out to be. Being self-aware in a dream can be super overwhelming and sometimes can take a turn for the worst. So slap on your socks and put on your panties because today we're diving into the horrifying world of my dreams. So let's just have a bit of a talk about some of the reoccurring dreams I have. In fact, I have 4 main reoccurring dreams. And I'll talk about one of the most distressing ones first, just to get out of the way. Now, number 1 is just past me falling asleep, and it goes something like this. So as some of you already know, I have pretty bad insomnia due to anxiety I get at night. So on average, I fall asleep around 1:30 to 2 a.m. And as you can imagine, that's a long time trying to fall asleep. So as soon as I do, I barely notice. Now this dream happens after I've just unknowingly fallen asleep. And the concept is time. Usually the dream goes like this. I'm trying to sleep, usually with classmates or family secretly spying me. I walk around with this eerie feeling in my gut. I keep thinking, this doesn't feel real. And what can I say, lucid dreamer instincts kicking in right there. I keep doing this thing in this stream where I just wake up in other people's houses and check the time every 5 seconds. Now for most people, they can't read or check time in dreams. However, I have a smooth subconscious, and I can read fluently and check time in dreams. So I don't know if I'm against literal science or just a different breed of human. The main theme that occurs in this one is usually being a flat or friend's house and just constantly seeing the sunrise or the time changing. It's always a really stressful dream, and the scenery changes every 5 seconds. Usually it'll be me in my bed, then I'm in some other kid's room, checking the time. Then I'll be at a girl's house, which is pretty much the only time I'll say that in my life, and I'll be asking her for the time. Then I'll be back at my parents', and I'll see a class friend spying on me. Then I'll check the time, and it'll all fade to black as I wake up. Creepy, right? I have them almost every night. Whenever I wake up at 2, I'm just retelling the story in my head. Like a drunken, might I add. Alright, so now I'm going to refer to another dream I had once, and it was almost like a reoccurring dream, but kind of changed up a bit, and I found this one pretty interesting. So you know when you struggle to wake up in the morning, your eyes are weak, mind heavy? Well, when that happens to me, it really impacts my REM stage. I become aware that I've slipped into a state of unconsciousness, and my brain will run in circles. One minute, I'll be waking up in my room feeling like something's off, then I'll see a weirdly long interdimensional hallway on my left, and wonder why the hell I'm still dreaming, and walk straight through. Then I wake up in real life, hearing my parents coming through my room and waking me up. Psych! I know this is still a dream. After all, I don't think any normal room is upside down with fairy lights everywhere. I don't think what I just said could be any more Stranger Things. Hold your nosebleed, it's changing again. Boom! Where are we now? A bar in the late 70s. Dope. Looks like I need something from this cocktail dude. I look down at my distorted hands, knowing a full well the state of my consciousness. I walk to the bartender and ask him, "Hey pal, you know a guy named Bud Light?" He takes his good time and looks at me and says, "I know exactly who you're after. Follow me." And he takes me to the bar's clock room, which is somehow a normal thing to have in this world. I open the door and to my surprise, the room is completely upside down. The desk on the ceiling and the fan on the floor. I look at the desk and I see the man I'm looking for. Bud Light, right in front of me. A scientist playing around with his green test tubes. I read my notes. It says I'm after those green test tubes. I ask him, "What in the name of hell are you doing, Bud?" He responds, "Just shifting your perception through Brian tunnels." What the cakes is a Brian tunnel? Doesn't he mean brain tunnels? No, I said that correctly. Brian tunnels. I'm not Bud Light. I'm Brian Bud Light. And as soon as he spoke, I found the two of us both in a gold mine, guns pointing at each other, shooting each other off. I fire at him and he dives at me with his metal claws. I then wake up in my room. That same dark tunnel is right in front of me now, above me. I get out of bed and I fall into it and begin walking through. It's cold, silent. I see my legs conforming to the environment as I walk, and I feel a light tap on my shoulder. As I turn back, to see him again, with his giant robotic claws, holding me down, he drops a test tube with green fluid flowing right through it. I dive to reach it, and in a moment of desperation, I threw it at his face. Then, I saw a crash of lime liquid spray into my eyesight, and I was somewhere different now. My kitchen. I see him in the corner huddled up, and I tell him, I'm going to be very polite. "What the frick are you doing with these test tubes?" He screams and he tells me it's too late, before a giant shadow emerges through my door and leaps for me and I open my eyes. Yup, that's all I did to end the dream. I open my eyes. Seems so damn simple. If things ever start to unsettle me or overwhelm me in a dream, I just open my eyes, and it will end the dream. It works like 95% of the time. I'd be in a scary dream and boom, eyes open. What about the other 5%, you ask? Nothing good, my friend. Oh, nothing good. But that's for another episode and possibly a more spooky time. But for now, I need to wake up and actually start the video because I've been dreaming this whole time. See you later, boys and girls. Oh, Lord help me.